Galaxy of universes theory. All right. So basically, there's the flatness of space. All right. But we know space has a curvature. See, we have the flatness, and then we have a flatness and a curvature here. So has anyone ever considered that, the flatness and the curvature is literally our universe here that was a star, a singularity, before, and it died. It's turned into a galactic nebula. Instead of like a crab nebula, it's a galactic nebula. It's a whole universe. This would have been a regular star in our relative cosm, but we're talking about the macrocosm here. Now the scale is so large, it flips inside out, Now something really large becomes something very small. And our singularity was just a star, like any other, in a gigantic galaxy. And these, whenever they die and turn into a nebula, that's a galactic nebula. So it's a universe. So it's just a galactic nebula, but a galactic nebula is a universe. And on this cosm, this is a macrocosmic galaxy pretty much. So a singularity are the stars in it. And they're spaced so far apart that literally, this is our universe here. This is all the light we're going to see. Outside of our universe is just dark space until there's more light somewhere else that's on its journey. We're going to see that pretty much whenever we look in the past, whenever we start to look back, we're just going to see pure light. And I'm just throwing out the quasar, like a macro quasar, a macrogalactic quasar. So it's basically just like a part of the alpha, beta, omega theory. Because nuclear energy is alpha particles. That's the alpha, that's the nucleus, that's the father. The beta is the decay of that into electric and nuclear. As the male nuclear carries both Y and X factors. So it's basically all in Y and X. Y and X science or Y and X math and stuff like that. We see this, in the Euclidean space-time, with the flatness and the cube and all of that, Technically that represents the Higgs field. And I'm just throwing stuff out, you don't have to believe in it or anything, I'm just throwing out some, ideas. And this universe is basically just very small because space just keeps going. Literally space is, so infinite. It's unbelievable. It just keeps going. Everything, finally, there's a reverse relativity when something, the biggest of something becomes the smallest of something again. It flips inside out. The relativity flips. And this is basically the scale invariance that I was mentioning in the other videos. It's like we know that scale invariance does exist, but they haven't tried to find a relative factor to correlate it. They haven't tried to put it on a scale of relativity. Instead, they just say it's pseudoscience. When it's technically the microcosm, the nutricosm, and the macrocosm. And when you look at all these ancient sciences and religions, there's actually talking about astrophysics and a lot of cosmology. So you have to pay attention to what they're talking about and what the common factor always correlates to. And it's always the nuclear and the electric energy. It's always space, time, and matter pretty much. Every time. It's pretty much space and energy.